Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Constantly trying to meet expectations, following the guidance of others, and forgetting who you truly are? Maybe you felt pressured to please your parents, your boss, your friends, or society. Maybe you've hesitated to make decisions, fearing failure or judgment. And then one day, you realize, you're like a boat drifting aimlessly, never truly steering your own life. But do you know what? Buddha taught, be a light unto yourself. No one can walk your path for you, only you can. No one else can decide how you should live, think, act, or who you should become. Recognizing the problem, why do we live according to others? From a young age, we are taught to obey, to conform, to follow instructions. As we grow older, we get caught up in the expectations, comparisons, and invisible standards set by society. And then, we become afraid of making mistakes. Afraid of failure, afraid of being judged. But the truth is, there's no absolute right or wrong path. The most important thing is whether you dare to walk your own. Buddha's teaching. Be your own guiding light. On the final night before his passing, the Buddha left behind an important teaching. Monks, be a light unto yourselves. Rely on yourselves. Do not seek refuge outside of you. What does this mean? First, no one can save you but yourself. No matter how much advice you receive, if you don't reflect and take action, you will remain lost. Second, wisdom and happiness do not come from dependency, but from self-reliance. Only when you stand on your own, seek your own answers, and take responsibility for your choices will you truly grow. Third, every path has challenges, but every step is worth it. Don't fear failure. Don't fear mistakes. Because each time you stumble, you gain strength, self-awareness, and ultimately, find the path that is meant for you. Why do you need this lesson today? If you're waiting for someone to come and change your life, stop. No one can walk for you. If you're feeling lost between choices, remember, you have the power to decide your own destiny. If you're afraid of others' opinions, know that only by living true to yourself will you find real peace and happiness. So how can you walk steadily on your own 2 feet? How can you find your true path without relying on others? Let's explore together in the next part. Before we continue, take a moment to share your thoughts. Have you ever felt like you were living for others instead of yourself? Have you ever feared making your own decisions? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and share this video to spread these valuable teachings. And subscribe to Life Lessons so you don't miss out on profound Buddhist wisdom for a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Now, let's take that first step. Self-reliance, the essence of enlightenment. When Prince Siddhartha left his palace, he didn't seek salvation from anyone else. He didn't wait for a teacher to hand him the truth or for a god to grant him liberation. Instead, he practiced, observed, and deeply reflected until he attained enlightenment on his own. This core lesson of Buddhism is clear: true awakening doesn't come from outside forces, it comes from within. It's not given, nor can it be bought or borrowed. It is cultivated through personal effort, self-discipline, and inner wisdom. So, the question is, are you waiting for someone to change your life, or are you taking steps to change yourself? The illusion of external salvation. Modern culture, especially in the West, often promotes the idea that happiness, success, and peace come from external sources. We're conditioned to believe that the right job, the right partner, the right amount of money, or even the right spiritual teacher will fix us. But look around. How many people have achieved these things yet still feel empty? That's because real transformation doesn't come from changing our circumstances, it comes from changing our mindset. The Buddha taught that suffering arises not from external hardships but from our attachment to them, our expectations, and our refusal to see reality as it is. No one else can remove your suffering for you. No one else can give you lasting peace. You must cultivate it yourself. The Buddha's Path. Walking alone to find the truth. After Siddhartha left his royal life, he didn't seek comfort in another authority. He tried different teachings, lived as an ascetic, and pushed himself to extremes. Only to realize that neither indulgence nor self-denial led to true freedom. He found his own way. He sat under the Bodhi tree, faced his fears, confronted his mind. And awakened, not because someone else led him there, but because he walked the path himself. His final teaching before passing away was simple but profound. Be a light unto yourself. This isn't just poetic wisdom, it's a challenge. It means stop searching for a guru, a savior, or an easy way out. Look within. Face your own ignorance, your own fears, and your own attachments. What this means for you today. Most people are waiting. They wait for the perfect moment. They wait for motivation. They wait for a mentor, a sign, or some external force to push them. But waiting is an illusion. The right time will never come. The perfect opportunity doesn't exist. And no one else will take responsibility for your growth. If you want peace, practice mindfulness today. If you want wisdom, start questioning your beliefs today. If you want freedom, let go of your attachments today. Because no one else can do it for you. Stop seeking. Start practicing. In today's world, it's easy to consume wisdom but never apply it. Reading spiritual books, listening to podcasts, and watching self-improvement videos can feel productive, but wisdom without action is meaningless. Enlightenment isn't about knowledge. It's about practice. You won't become patient by reading about patience. You must practice patience in difficult situations. You won't find inner peace by talking about mindfulness. You must practice mindfulness when life gets chaotic. You won't grow if you're waiting for the world to change. You must change yourself first. A simple question. What have you done today to change yourself? At the end of your day, ask yourself honestly. Did I react with mindfulness, or did I let emotions control me? Did I take responsibility for my happiness? Or did I blame others? Did I challenge my old habits, or did I fall back into autopilot? If the answer disappoints you, good. That means you see where growth is needed. Because true wisdom isn't about knowing all the answers. It's about asking the right questions, and acting on them. No one is coming to save you, and that's a good thing. The world won't hand you peace. No guru, no teacher, no external force can give you enlightenment. But that's not bad news, that's liberation. It means you have the power. It means you are not a victim of fate. It means every moment is a chance to step forward, to wake up, to take control. So, stop waiting. Start walking. Your path is yours alone. Will you take the next step? Relying on others, a double-edged sword. When you rely on others, it may feel comforting and safe. But in the process, you might unknowingly chain yourself down. Imagine this. You wait for others to approve of your decisions before feeling confident. You depend on someone else to validate your worth before believing in yourself. What happens when they're not there? What happens if their validation never comes? Buddhism teaches us a fundamental truth: no one can walk your path for you. No one can set you free but yourself. The Buddha himself never claimed to be a savior. Instead, he showed the way and reminded his followers, no one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path. Others can guide you, inspire you, or even support you, but in the end, it's your journey, and yours alone. The hidden cost of dependence. Dependence on others can feel reassuring. But it comes with consequences. 1. Loss of personal power. When you constantly look to others for validation, you hand over control of your happiness. If someone praises you, you feel good. If they criticize you, you feel worthless. This means your emotional state is no longer in your hands, it's dictated by those around you. 2. Fear of walking alone. Many people fear making decisions or standing up for themselves because they are used to others doing it for them. This fear keeps you stuck, hesitant, and afraid to step outside your comfort zone. True growth, however, comes from embracing uncertainty and learning to trust yourself. 3. Stagnation and lack of growth. When you rely on others to solve your problems, you miss out on valuable opportunities to grow. Growth comes from struggle, from making mistakes, and from learning to stand up after falling. If you always have a safety net, you may never develop the resilience needed to face life's challenges. Breaking free, cultivating inner strength. So, how do you break free from excessive reliance on others? Buddhism offers powerful guidance. 1. Build self-reliance. The Buddha encouraged his followers to test his teachings for themselves rather than blindly believe in them. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Make decisions for yourself. Trust your own judgment. Learn to solve problems without always seeking external approval. A simple practice, when faced with a choice. Instead of asking others what they would do, pause and reflect. Listen to your intuition. With time, your inner wisdom will grow stronger. 2. Seek guidance, not dependence. There's nothing wrong with learning from others. However, the goal should be to learn and apply, not to lean and rely. A mentor or friend can share valuable insights, but they cannot walk your path for you. When seeking advice, ask yourself, am I looking for guidance to grow, or am I hoping someone else will take responsibility for my life? 3. Cultivate inner confidence. Confidence doesn't come from external approval, it comes from taking action and proving to yourself that you are capable. Set small challenges for yourself each day. Make an independent decision. Try something new without asking for reassurance. Solve a problem on your own. These small victories build true confidence over time. 4. Accept responsibility for your happiness. Happiness is an inside job. If you believe that happiness comes from others, whether it's a partner, a friend, or a mentor, you will always be at their mercy. But when you take responsibility for your own happiness, you reclaim your power. Reflection exercise. What is one area of your life where you've been waiting for others to change? Instead of waiting, what can you do about it today? Lessons from the Buddha's life. The Buddha himself was the perfect example of self-reliance. Born as a prince, he had every luxury, every form of external security. Yet he realized that no one, not his wealth, not his family, not his royal status, could free him from suffering. He left everything behind and set out alone to seek the truth. Through personal effort, deep meditation, and inner discovery, he attained enlightenment, not because someone else gave it to him, but because he found it within himself. Final thought. Stand firm. No matter who stands with you, life will always change. People come and go. Some will support you, others may leave. The question is, can you stand firm, no matter who is beside you? When you cultivate inner strength, you don't fear walking alone. You don't need constant approval to feel worthy. You don't wait for someone to tell you what to do, you take charge of your own destiny. So ask yourself, are you waiting for someone to save you, or are you ready to walk the path on your own? Master your mind, master your life. The Buddha taught that everything originates from the mind. If you allow your mind to be swayed by the opinions of others, you become like a leaf drifting aimlessly in the current of life. On the other hand, when you take control of your mind, you take control of your destiny. The power of the mind in shaping reality. Your thoughts shape your experiences. If you constantly focus on external validation, you will never find true stability. However, if you turn inward and master your mind, you will create a life of balance, clarity, and peace. Many people feel trapped by their circumstances, believing that happiness depends on external conditions. But Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering and joy both originate within. It is not the events themselves but our thoughts about them that shape our reality. The cost of an uncontrolled mind. A mind left unchecked can lead to anxiety, self-doubt, and confusion. Here's how. 1. Reactivity versus stability. If your emotions are dictated by the opinions of others, you will always be in a state of fluctuation. A single criticism can ruin your day, while a compliment can momentarily boost your confidence. This leaves you vulnerable, never truly grounded in yourself. 2. Chasing external approval. The more you seek validation from others, the less control you have over your happiness. People's opinions change like the wind, and relying on them for self-worth means living in constant insecurity. 3. Living in fear of judgment. When your mind is focused on pleasing others, you hesitate to follow your true path. Fear of failure, rejection, or disapproval can prevent you from making bold decisions that align with your inner truth. Taking back control, practical steps. Buddhism offers a clear path to mastering the mind. Here are simple, practical steps to cultivate inner peace and strength. 1. Practice daily meditation. Meditation is the key to self-awareness. Even 5 minutes a day can help you observe your thoughts without getting lost in them. When you sit in stillness, you learn to detach from the noise of the world and listen to your inner wisdom. 2. Shift from reaction to response. Instead of immediately reacting to situations, practice pausing and observing. Before responding to criticism, ask yourself, is this truly about me? Or is it a reflection of the other person's state of mind? Developing this awareness will help you remain steady in the face of external negativity. 3. Cultivate inner validation. Recognize that your worth does not depend on external opinions. Every day, take a moment to affirm your own value, independent of what others think. You are already complete as you are. 4. Embrace impermanence. Buddhist teachings emphasize that everything is impermanent, both praise and criticism come and go. Understanding this truth allows you to navigate life with greater ease, knowing that external validation is fleeting. Real-world application. Mindful living. To integrate these teachings into daily life, consider these practices. Start the day with a moment of gratitude and stillness. When faced with criticism, observe your emotions without letting them define you. Limit social media exposure if it triggers self-doubt or comparison. Engage in activities that nourish your inner self, rather than seeking approval from others. Final thought. The path to true freedom. Mastering your mind is not about shutting out the world, it's about developing the ability to remain centered regardless of external circumstances. When you cultivate inner stability, you become unshakable. So ask yourself, are you living as a drifting leaf, or are you anchoring yourself in your own truth? Embracing mistakes and growing from them. Many people fear taking steps forward because they worry about failure. However, the Buddha taught that mistakes are an essential part of the path to wisdom. Just like a child learning to walk, you may stumble. But each time you rise, you become stronger. The fear of failure and its grip on the mind. One of the biggest barriers to personal growth is the fear of making mistakes. Society often conditions us to avoid failure at all costs, leading to hesitation, self-doubt, and stagnation. However, failure is not an end, it is a beginning. The key is to see mistakes not as setbacks, but as stepping stones to wisdom and strength. Buddhist perspective on mistakes and growth. Buddhism teaches that suffering, including the suffering caused by failure, is a natural part of life. Instead of resisting or fearing it, we are encouraged to embrace it, learn from it, and transcend it. Mistakes are simply lessons disguised as challenges, guiding us toward greater understanding. 1. Impermanence. Nothing lasts forever. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is impermanence, anicca. Just as joy and success do not last forever, neither do failures and setbacks. When you make a mistake, remember that it is temporary. It does not define you, nor does it determine your future. What matters is how you respond to it. 2. Non-attachment, letting go of ego. Often, our fear of making mistakes comes from attachment to our self-image. We want to appear competent, successful, and respected. However, the Buddhist path encourages us to detach from this need for external validation. By accepting that mistakes are a natural part of learning, we free ourselves from the pressure to be perfect. 3. Beginner's mind, staying open to learning. In Zen Buddhism, the concept of Shoshin, beginner's mind, reminds us to approach every experience with openness and curiosity. When you stop fearing mistakes, you start embracing life as an opportunity to grow. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" try asking, "What can I learn from this?" The strength that comes from falling. Imagine a child learning to walk. They take a step, stumble, fall, and try again. Each time, their muscles strengthen, their balance improves. And they become more confident. Life works the same way. Every mistake is an opportunity to refine your skills, build resilience, and develop wisdom. Here's why mistakes make you stronger. They teach resilience. Every time you rise after a fall, you build inner strength. They refine your skills. Mistakes highlight areas that need improvement, helping you become better at what you do. They encourage self-reflection. Instead of seeing failure as defeat, use it as a moment to reflect and grow. They cultivate humility. Recognizing that no one is perfect keeps you grounded and open to learning from others. Practical steps to overcome the fear of failure. 1. Shift your mindset. Instead of viewing mistakes as something to be ashamed of, see them as necessary parts of the learning process. Every successful person has failed, often multiple times. The difference is that they didn't let failure stop them, they used it as motivation to improve. 2. Develop self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. When you make a mistake, avoid harsh self-criticism. Instead, treat yourself as you would a friend, with encouragement and understanding. Acknowledge your efforts, and remind yourself that growth takes time. 3. Take small risks daily. Start with small, manageable risks to build confidence. Whether it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new skill, or making a difficult decision. Each small step helps you become more comfortable with uncertainty and potential mistakes. 4. Reflect and adjust. After making a mistake, take a moment to reflect. What went wrong? What could I have done differently? What did I learn from this experience? By analyzing your mistakes, you turn them into valuable lessons. 5. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. Be around those who encourage learning and resilience rather than perfection. When you have a supportive environment, mistakes become easier to navigate. Real-world applications of this mindset. Many of the most successful individuals have embraced failure as part of their journey. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, famously saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he founded, before returning and transforming it into one of the most successful businesses in history. Oprah Winfrey was once told she wasn't fit for television, yet she became one of the most influential media personalities in the world. What these individuals have in common is their ability to see failure not as an endpoint but as a stepping stone to success. Final thought. The only true failure is not trying. Mistakes are inevitable, but they are not what define you, your response to them does. When you learn to embrace failure as part of the journey, you unlock your full potential. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Every great change starts with the first step. Buddha taught, do not worry about moving slowly. Only be concerned if you stop. Whether you seek to transform your mindset, career, or life, begin now. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Magnifying glass tilted left exercise, today. Write down one thing you want to change and take the first step. Taking that first step is often the hardest part of any journey. Many people hesitate because they fear failure, feel unprepared, or wait for the right moment. But in reality, the perfect time never comes. Growth begins the moment you decide to move forward, regardless of how small the step may be. The illusion of the perfect time. It is common to believe that we need to have everything figured out before we begin. We tell ourselves that we will start a new habit, change careers, or pursue our dreams when we have more time, money, or knowledge. However, this mindset keeps us trapped in inaction. Buddhism teaches us to embrace imperfection and understand that every journey begins with a single moment of courage. Instead of waiting for the stars to align, recognize that action itself creates the momentum needed for progress. Moving forward without fear. Fear of failure is a major obstacle to taking that first step. But Buddha reminds us, there are only two mistakes one can make along the road to truth, not going all the way and not starting. The biggest mistake is not taking action at all. Mistakes are part of the learning process. Just like a child learning to walk, you may stumble. But each time you stand back up, you are stronger and wiser. Every step, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Small steps lead to big transformations. When looking at a great challenge, it can feel overwhelming. But breaking it down into smaller steps makes it manageable. If you want to improve your health, start with a daily 10-minute walk. If you dream of changing careers, begin by researching opportunities. If you seek inner peace, start with a few minutes of meditation each day. Each small step builds momentum, and before you know it, you will have made significant progress. The journey itself becomes a lesson in perseverance and self-discovery. The power of presence in your journey. One of the greatest teachings of Buddhism is to be present in every moment. Instead of focusing on how far you have to go, focus on where you are now. Every step taken with mindfulness brings clarity and purpose. Practicing mindfulness as you take action allows you to experience growth with awareness. You become more attuned to the lessons along the way, learning to appreciate the process rather than just the destination. Practical steps to begin today. Write it down, identify one change you want to make and write it down. This simple act makes your goal feel more real. Start small, commit to just one small step today. It could be as simple as making a phone call, reading an article, or setting a plan. Let go of perfection, accept that mistakes are part of the journey. Instead of fearing them, view them as stepping stones. Stay consistent, progress comes with consistency. Even tiny daily steps lead to big results over time. Practice mindfulness, stay present and appreciate each moment of your journey. Growth happens now, not just in the future. Final thought. The road ahead may seem long, but every great journey begins the same way, with a single step. Have faith in yourself, embrace the process, and trust that with each step, you are creating the life you desire. Conclusion: walk your own path. Life belongs to you. No one else can live it for you. No one can walk your path but you. The Buddha taught that true strength comes from within. You don't need validation from others to know your worth. You don't need permission to take control of your life. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. Every setback is a lesson. Every step you take on your own terms brings you closer to freedom. So be brave. Be mindful. Trust yourself.